Okay, now I'm going to talk about how to use automation to control various parameters for your effects. It's kind of fun because you can do things like create a glissando. Instead of having a fixed pitch shifter, you might have something where it changes over time, or you can have no reverb and then gradually more reverb and then all kinds of reverb, and then it's the same thing for just about anything. So just to give a quick review about automation, we learned that you can add an automation track, an envelope track, just by clicking on this and then choosing a particular parameter, such as, let's say, volume. I can have now a volume that changes over time. It kind of goes up and down, and then when I play my track back, the volume will dip and then it'll go back up and then it'll go back up again. So we'll get rid of that. I'm going to clear that. So let's now go back to the track envelopes button, and then instead of choosing one of these, so those are the main track envelopes. We can change one of the ones that are specific to the effect that's attached to the track. So if I had 3 effects, there will be a whole three series of them, and there you can see here it tells you what they belong to. So we'll just choose the full range shift, and I'm just picking one. And so as you can see right now, what the envelope is showing you is that if you hover over the little button there, it shows you that it's at 0 semitones, which means if I play this back, there's no pitch shifting happening. So what I want to do is I want to add a point here, so I just shift click and then I add another point over here, and I now want to create a ramp that goes from 0 semitones to 12 semitones up. Now it's a little bit hard to do, to control exactly what number it's going to go to, because the values will depend on what particular parameter you're using. So it'll be whatever portion of it. This particular setting parameter goes from 0 to 24 semitones, which is 2 octaves higher. So what you would have to do is, let's say if you only want to go an octave higher, you would have to go to right click on the dot. I mean, this is if you care for it to be exactly 12. I'm just giving you an example, but we'd have to go to set point value. And over here, we'd actually have to say 0.75, because it corresponds to the portion of the envelope that is half of this top part. So I hope that makes sense. But anyway, if you can see the number here, it says 12 semitones. Anyways, so let's see what happens now.
Square with arms and there's little things sticking up.
And then from that point on, it stays an octave higher. And of course, then there's no reason that you have to do an octave. You could do all kinds of crazy, crazy looking things. And I can even draw some crazy shape by pressing Command and just kind of see what happens.
Square with arms and there's little things sticking up.
So that's adding automation. So I encourage you to try this with all the different effects you're adding. So in terms of your task for the week, all I really want you to do is to record yourself, saying some words or singing something, and then just put that bit of sound in a whole bunch of different tracks. And for each track, what you can do is this. Let's say this is your original sound, right? So you can say here clean, right? And then what you do is you right click on that. I'm going to get rid of the effect right now, remove. And I'm going to go click on the track, right click, and I'm going to duplicate it. And so now, and I can duplicate it a couple of times. And you can now maybe add different effects here. Let's say add a delay here, and then you call it delay. This is not an ideal way to work. You wouldn't necessarily want to do it this way, but in the future. But right now, the idea is that you can then compare different effects, see how they sound, and maybe with automation, have one come in and then one disappear and whatever. Just kind of try different things. This will be helpful for your future project. Then in later videos, I'm going to show you how to do this more efficiently by using sends and receives to create a separate part of your workspace or of your workspace that's dedicated to only effects, and then utilize the same effects to control any, let's say you're using a delay and you have many different tracks go into that one delay, so you don't have to keep figuring out which delay is doing what, and you can control things. You can even do it in groups. So that's coming up later.